What's up, party people, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about products that I personally feel like are overrated. So these are products that are or were popular or trending or hyped up, and I just don't get the hype in them. I'm pretty picky, I feel like, and I do have pretty high standards, and they're even higher when it comes to popular products that are really hyped up. And most of the time I come out disappointed because I usually just don't get the hype in them. Usually they're just not as amazing as what everyone makes them out to be. Now, I do want to say that everyone has different personal preferences. Everyone likes different things. It's okay if you love these things. It's okay if I don't. But without further ado, here are a few products I feel like are overhyped and overrated. So the first thing is something that is kind of more hyped up in like the hair industry, like amongst hairdressers and stuff. So when I first started doing hair, most of the products I use are drugstore. So you can't sell drugstore. Like, you can't promote a lot of drugstore stuff when you're doing hair because you want to sell it yourself. Like, you want to sell your own retail and stuff. So my favorite dry shampoo is Ebates. Everybody knows that by now. And I wanted to find a replacement for it that I could use on people and also, you know, sell as retail. So I heard a lot of good things about the Paul Mitchell Dry Wash Express Dry Waterless Shampoo. So it's just the Paul Mitchell Dry Shampoo, basically. And this sucks. So this just feels like water to me. It doesn't absorb my oil. It makes my hair not look good. It just doesn't do anything. And it's not your typical like dry shampoo with a powdery aerosol look or feel to it. Like, here's what it looks like when you spray it out. It literally just feels like water on my hand. Like, there's no powdery residue or anything, which you might like if you're someone that just doesn't like that white residue or anything. But like with the Batiste dry shampoo, it does have that white powdery residue, but it goes away once it sets, or if you like zhuzh it in and kind of like massage it into your scalp. It does not give me any kind of volume or lift or texture. It doesn't feel like I'm doing anything when I use it. So definitely not worth it in my opinion. The MAC lipsticks. I don't really know what cream sheen lipsticks, just their lipsticks in general. These are not very good. I hate to break it to you guys. I mean, the colors are beautiful. They have a wonderful shade selection and stuff, but they do not hold up well at all. There is no longevity with these. Like, I maybe get 30 minutes to an hour wear out of this. Now, I understand that if they're not matte, they're not gonna last, obviously. But like my Maybelline lipsticks, my NYX lipsticks, everything else in my collection that I have like from the drugstore, they last at least a little while. So I was so excited to try Modesty. Like, I kept going by and swatching it, and this is a beautiful color. Back in the day, Myth, Cream Cup, and something else used to be really, really popular, especially like old school YouTube. This is in the shade Blankety. I think Blankety was a pretty popular one too. Stunning. I mean, the shades, I can't say enough good things about them. They just don't hold up. Next up is a sponge that kind of more recently became a big deal, and I don't really hear a lot of people talk about it anymore, so it makes me feel like they're not really seeing the hype anymore either. I feel like this is one of those things that when you first use it, it's like, ooh, that's kind of cool. It's a different idea. It's unique. Okay, I like it. But then the longer you use it, you're just like, So this is the Juno & Company Microfiber Sponge. So it's just a makeup sponge. I'm going to pop up the picture of what the original one looks like, because usually it's just like a blue. This is brand new. This is the rose one, so it's supposed to be softer and something. I don't even know. But this is the one with the little flat edge on it, and then it's got a flat bottom on the bottom. This just doesn't really do much for me. Number one, it loses its dampness so fast. So it's basically like bouncing a dry sponge on your face, because you can get it soaking wet and wring out all the excess. Even if you don't wring out the excess, in like 5 minutes it's completely dried, and it just feels like I'm bouncing a blanket on my face. And the whole hype with this was that it didn't absorb as much product, it gave you fuller coverage, it spread everything really well and just blended everything out really well. Now, I will say, disclaimer, that it could be just this version. It could just be the rose one. Maybe the blue one's better. I don't really see the whole hype in the application. Like, I don't feel like I get fuller coverage with it. I don't feel like it does anything special. I don't get it. Next thing is the Anastasia Amrezy highlighter. Looks beautiful in the pan. I feel like it's very aesthetically pleasing. It's one of those products that I feel like you see it and you want to love it because it's so beautiful. And look at the packaging. Like, it's just so glam, and it's just very aesthetically pleasing. But this, to me, I mean, it's a beautiful shade. I feel like it's very universal, very flattering for all skin tones, but it just doesn't do that much for me. I don't feel like the formula itself is that different. It's a very thin texture, which is a good thing because it doesn't emphasize texture a whole lot on your skin. But my thing with this is that it just doesn't look the same way on me as it does everybody else. This doesn't look any better than my $5 Wet n Wild highlighters. It doesn't look any better than my $1 Shop Miss A highlighters. I just feel like the shade isn't super unique, and neither is the formula. Next up is the Anastasia Soft Glam palette. So this is a newer palette from them. It has a lot of good aspects to it, but my thing is with this, I just feel like, I don't even know. Here's kind of a good explanation of it. So I just watched Kaylee, oh, I don't know her last name. I'm sorry if I'm butchering this. Kaylee Boat or Kaylee Bot. She did a video where she does this kind of series where she does like a chopping block thing. So she'll try so many palettes for like a month or so, and she'll just kind of hone in on them and figure out if she wants to keep them or not. And she was saying that she liked the shades of this one, but they're just a little bit too dark for her and for her skin tone. And I think that that's my thing with it, but it's kind of weird to say that because I use a lot of dark colors. Like I'm, you know, pretty dramatic for the most part. So I guess my thing with this is that there's just too much depth in here and just too many dark, dramatic, smoky colors, which are good every now and then. But I mean, this is some people's favorite like everyday palette. Another thing I don't like about Anastasia palettes is that she just repeats way too many shades. Like, each palette should have its own shade range with new colors and stuff, but she reuses the same shades over and over. So like if you have Modern Renaissance, you have Cypress Umber, you have Burnt Orange, you have Tempera, and I also feel like Norvina, who's the one that puts these palettes together, I feel like her eye for things isn't always the greatest in my opinion. I just don't feel like she pairs everything perfectly together, so it's a pretty palette. I don't want to completely discount it yet and just say, yeah, I'm just done using that, but whenever I use it, I just don't feel like I have a good makeup day, and I feel like when I use these shades, whenever I use Anastasia shadows in general, I feel like it takes me forever to complete an eye look. Next up, since we're talking about Anastasia palettes, the Norvina palette, I really want to like, and again, I'm not completely tossing it to the side yet and giving up on it, but this was one of those palettes that I'm just not really into the shade selection, but there were a few shades in here that I was like, ooh. Again, I just don't feel like Norvina has a very good eye for pairing shadows together. I just feel like there's a lot of stuff going on in this palette. Like, I just feel like this shade right here is kind of misplaced. I don't think this shade right here is very pretty. You got this bright, like, Eastery pink. I'm not obsessed with the Anastasia formula like everyone else is. And then last but certainly not least is the foundation that I've seen in so many makeup artists kits. I see people use this on people all the time when they freelance, and I've heard about this foundation for years. This is the MAC Studio Fix foundation. So this is the liquid foundation. I don't have the full size. I just got a little tester of it. I was so disappointed. So this foundation to me is just very makeup-y. It's pretty full coverage, but it just looks like a thick, heavy, old school foundation to me. Like, I just feel like now there are so many foundations on the market that are full coverage that look lightweight and feel lightweight. When I wear this, I just feel like I have 2 inches of makeup on. And yes, I apply a lot, we know that, but whatever I use has to fit and has to accommodate my technique and my style of putting on makeup and how much I apply. And this just doesn't, and it didn't really wear all that well on me. It kind of looked cakey and thick, and it settled in certain places. I don't like this, and I really wanted to because, like I said, I see so many makeup artists use this on people in videos and stuff, and it looks beautiful on them. This just didn't do it for me, and I'm really upset about it. So that is it for some products I feel like are overrated and overhyped up. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below. What are your ideas and what are your thoughts on what I talked about today? Do you like them? Do you think they're overrated? Do you love them and use them every single day? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and want to see more like it. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Mwah.